Welcome back to Hampture, my merry band of enablers. On this episode of my ongoing exploration of the depths of my own depravity, I will be permanently affixing ballast pods to the habitat shell using the correct diameter of bolt, nut, and I've also got washers that will be used to reinforce the spots where the bolts penetrate the shell, as well as used as shims to balance out the angle of the pods to the left and right. Okay, so this is more or less how I want it on the sides. I don't know if you can see here, but there are some washers being used as shims here, which even it out. See how it's now nicely parallel to the bottom of the habitat? The problem is, having hooked it in this way, like this, from left to right, now it's hard to get these things open so that I can twist the nuts from the inside. I may have to unscrew this one and go right to left, but that's okay. That's alright, you know, there's no wrong answers here. DeviantArt taught me to turn mistakes into miracles. Side note, just like when making love to a beautiful lady, you want to remove the foam inserts first. I'll let you puzzle over what I could have possibly meant by that. And of course, apply some silicone to the tip of the bolt and the hole that it's going to penetrate. I mean, I guess it could also be an ugly lady. Or a dude. I don't know what you're into. You'll also want to keep a towel handy. Giggity. Because the silicone will get on your fingers, and if you leave fingerprints and they dry, they're a bitch to get off later. So you're always going to want to be wiping the transparent surfaces especially down as you're using the silicone. That's two. We're in the home stretch. There. They're all attached properly with shims in the correct locations with the silicone sealant. Now it needs about 12 hours to dry. Jesus, though, this thing is really right on the edge of what I can lift. I'm not proud of that. You might say, it's the big chungus of habitats. It's a relevant, topical meme. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? Really, though, this is one heavy sumbitch. I can just barely lift it with both hands, and it should be clear by now why I don't go any larger than this. To go larger would mean enclosing more air, which would mean more buoyancy, which would mean more weight. And at that point, I would need like a crane or something to move it around. That does raise an interesting point, though. After this is done, where do I go from there? If I want to go any larger, I'm basically going to have to use that sand ballast and dredge pump method I've talked about in prior videos, which would be a really interesting direction to go in because it would be demonstrating a novel form of habitat ballasting that hasn't been done before. So I'd actually be accomplishing something somewhat novel in this field. As a final note, not many people have been noticing that there are underwater habitat history articles on the Patreon now. They are visible only to patrons, maybe that's why. They've gotten like 6 or 7 likes each. They're there, go check them out. I'm going to be posting more, and when I run out of those, I'm going to be posting the articles about Antarctic habitats. So I was wondering for a long time what I could possibly offer as a Patreon perk, and I'm glad I found something that people seem to be into. I just need to raise awareness that it's there to be read. That's all for this time. Stay tuned for more. As for me, I'll just sit here patiently, waiting for my daddy to come back from the cigarette store 23 years ago.